Hello, everybody. Today is day 267 and reading from Nehemiah chapter 6 and 7. You can be sure that when you set out to do God's work, that there will be tremendous opposition. And this is the reality of the forces of good and evil, and that any project that is given for us, ordained by God to do, the enemy camp will do all that it can to interrupt and to disrupt what we have in our heart to do. There is the issue of both man and devil, and that is there's a human element of which individuals cooperate with the dark intentions, and then there's just a real live devil that has assignments and has a line of authority delegated out for attacks against the people of God. This is rooted in jealousies, what we see in these two chapters, a jealousy against what common and ordinary people are able to accomplish through the power of God. It is also instilled by fear that is rooted in hatred that had developed in the opposition against the people of God. And this gossip begins to spread through the ranks in an attempt to try to not just disrupt or to slow down the process of this rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem, but to totally tear it down completely. The enemies conspire against Nehemiah because he is the key leader and the man who is inspiring all the others to act upon this commission of God. They attempt to meet with Nehemiah 4 times. Nehemiah wisely rejects it because he recognizes that no good can come from it, and you and I ought never to listen to the words of the enemy. The walls are done, the gates have not yet been hung, but rumors begin to fly everywhere. And Nehemiah has been accused of a rebellion. He's been accused of plans to become a king of this new city, and he has been accused of establishing prophets and paying them to declare that he is going to be the king and the ruler and the leader of this new place. Of course, it was all lies, and they fabricated this story. If Nehemiah refused to meet with them, they said they would tattletale and they would get this word back to the king. Nehemiah says, listen, you've invented these ideas in your own heart. It's not truth. They were attempting to do what the enemy always does, and that is they were using fear and threat, tactics of accusations to weaken the morale and to get them distracted from the plan and the order of God. And so they even themselves paid prophets to cause confusion, to speak words that were not true. Nehemiah appeals to God for strength, and I think that this is of great importance in all of our lives. He prays to God that he would hear his voice, that he would continue to have the strength to carry out the plans and execute them. He continues to work in faith. He didn't just pray, but he prayed to God, and then he took the step of faith, boldness, and courage to complete what God had laid in his heart. The walls were finished in a remarkable 52 days, and no wonder this caused an enormous concern by those living around. Of course, this shocked neighboring nations when they saw so much done in such little time by so few people. They then became disheartened. They even saw that this could only have been done by their God. Now that's what's beautiful, is when God shows his power in our weakness to such incredible evidence that the critics around us realize this could only have been done by God. The doors are now hung. Singers and gatekeepers and Levites have been appointed into positions. The city is large and it's spacious, but the people are few, and the houses have not been rebuilt, so there's a lot yet to be done. But God put it in Nehemiah's heart. That's a phrase we read right here. God put it in Nehemiah's heart to do something. Sometimes we're waiting for an angelic visit, or We would like a direct word, a prophetic word to be spoken to us, a vision, a dream. But sometimes we dismiss this very simple element. Jesus said, "My sheep know and hear my voice." And Nehemiah, the Bible says here that God put it in Nehemiah's heart. And I think that we oftentimes are guilty of ignoring the promptings and the still small voice of God as he directs our lives. And I like that because that's applicable to you and I as the children of God. So God placed it in Nehemiah's heart to gather the leaders to register genealogy as they're coming back, because there are so many coming back, and they needed to make sure that their lines were legit, that they were indeed the Jews that God had forecasted would be coming back. Tens of thousands are returning. It's a new day in the city of David, Jerusalem. God has accomplished what he promised that he would do, and the power of his presence is beginning to align that which would be a public rebuke and demonstration of the grace and the beauty of God and his love and loyalty to his people.